everybody, Calm Biker here. And what a lovely, lovely, lovely evening this is. It's hot. It's really, really hot. So I thought, what better a time to come out for a ride. Also, my eyesight's feeling really, really weird. I'm not sure if I can see properly or not. So what I thought the best thing to do was to pair up with my old mate Graham, back there, and go for a 30 mile ride to a local beauty spot. Now, silliness apart, obviously my eyesight is fine, and if you're not in the UK you might not get that joke, and it's probably for the best. And I can't explain why I made that silly joke, because it would lead to me talking about something that I promised in my last video I wouldn't talk about in this one. So what's actually happening is I'm heading off to North Yorkshire, and I'm going to see a little bit of the Wolds Way. Now, the Wolds Way is a walk. It's a series of public rights of way that leads from Hessel, which is it's where the Humber Bridge lives, which I've shown you a long time ago on my XJ6, and it leads all the way up to a place called Filey, which is near-ish to Scarborough, which I've been to many times on a bike and recorded videos. Total distance of the walk is about 79 miles, so it's not something you do in a day. And the Wolds Way is, well, a series of rights of way. It's a continuous right of way that you can use. Some of it kind of crosses roads and things like that, but it's like many places in the UK, there are rights of way that anybody can walk down, and they can go across privately owned land in places, but the people who own the land are responsible for making sure that that right of way is always available. The Wolds Way, the Yorkshire Wolds Way, to give it its full title, is an odd one because it doesn't get used very much, and it gets used so little that there was a project that started probably about 10 years ago now to put artworks and installations on it so that people would maybe go and have a look, and unfortunately not many got added. I would say that 3 out of the 10 planned got added. I've seen it stated that 4 did, but if that's the case, then I'm taking you to see 2 of them today that happen to be in exactly the same place. I would say that's only 3 really. I am leading the way tonight, so there's a reasonable chance that I'll get lost on the way, but I'm pretty sure I know where it is. I have been there already with Mrs. C. But the route that we went to actually walk to the thing, because we parked up at a nearby town and walked there, we took the long route, so it was a bit of exercise, and took the camera to take a few photos while I was there of an old church and a couple of other bits and pieces. But I'm not going in that way because Graham wouldn't appreciate it. It was a walk of about 1.5 miles, which in itself is not a huge amount, obviously. But it did include a climb that was about 45 degrees. It actually has a warning on it for it being particularly dodgy to climb up. I was wearing grippy shoes at the time, and Mrs. C had reasonably grippy shoes on, but still took a tumble, but she wasn't hurt, so that was okay. But certainly in bike boots, it's not something you'd want to climb a 45 degree angle on slippery ground. I think that might have been somebody going the wrong way down a one-way street. That could end up badly, couldn't it? No idea what's going on there. We're just coming up to West Napton now. And on the left here is where we're pulling in. You don't attack this corner too hard in case that happens. So you see where these bushes go? And you see where those other bushes meet?
Yeah.
That's where it is.
Up there?
Just the other side of this field.
Right. Half a minute.
I'm just saying this is probably the best surface you will get on the Wolds Way.
Yeah.
This little tiny piece. So I'm exercising Graham here. If we meet anybody on the way, they're going to wonder why there's some idiot on a day when it's 25 degrees walking along in full bike gear and a helmet, talking to himself. I shall pretend I've got Bluetooth connection to man over there. Except he's taking off his helmet and spoiling the roofs. This is the last little bit that takes us up to the installation, which is called Enclosure Rites, put in by a chap, or designed by a chap, called Johnny Easterby. And the idea is that this area has a lot of Bronze Age and Iron Age heritage, as I may have mentioned already. So they're trying to do a nod to that. Actually, while they were building this thing, nearby they found 2 Bronze Age burial barrows that are about 3,000 years old. Can you see it? You might have caught a glimpse of white. If you can catch a glimpse of white on the camera, that's the first part. And all these, what just looks like a fence, actually just posts. When that went in, they were all painted bright red. But over the time, they've lost that colour, bleached by the sun, I guess. Might have the place to ourselves. Just up that way is the 45 degree, what will be a drop from here. That when you're walking up or down with a huge bag of camera equipment on your back is quite a feat. So here we are. I should go this way for the full effect. So you see the unusual part here, that the I was going to say style, but it's not, it's a gate, isn't it? The gate that normally would be wooden is red. That's not part of the installation, but that's obviously done as a nod to it. And then around here you have Graham. So this is it. Sorry if you expected more. This has been... Now, it depends what you think. You might think this has been vandalised or improved, depending on how you look at it. When these went in, they were plain wood, and then they've been painted white at some point, and then obviously, well, I'm not allowed to say, because of the promise I made, what the rainbow means. But let's just say it's not, I don't think it's a gay pride march. It could be. So these little statues are supposed to be reminiscent of statues that used to get created during the Iron Age. Little carvings, simple carved faces and hands. Quite neat. That one at the back seems very happy. Right grin on his face, that one. And then there's this area here that's more Bronze Age. So you've got this circular part that was gravelled. Unfortunately, the plants are taking over at the minute. They do get weeded and they do get replanted. But at the moment that's not happening for reasons I can't go into, obviously, for the, that said I can't talk about. And they plant these areas up here. And they also plant this as a little wildflower area that leads down. So the kids come along and plant this. And then at the end, there's a dew pond, which already has a visitor in Graham. But this, when it's absolutely still, just gives you a mirror reflection of the sky above this, which is the Vale of Pickering. Now I'm going to have to kind of explain a bit, I suppose, because the camera won't pick it up, or maybe I can try it on my phone camera. But that's North Yorkshire. Almost all of it. And this is peaceful. So the idea is you come up here, you sit by the mirror-like pond, which is full of tadpoles at the minute. It's absolutely full of tadpoles at the minute, look. And contemplate. There's some newts as well. Amazing. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to sit and contemplate like what you are supposed to do and listen to that. Isn't it brilliant? Cheers, Graham. I wish I'd brought a flask myself. Thanks for watching, everyone. Ride safe, and I'll talk to you all again soon. That's the first time I've gone off-roading and not broken something.
I thought about that when we came in, and I checked that as we were coming in.
Very mean.